So today I'm bringing guys a brand new sports cards video. In today's video, I'm going to be breaking down the best sports card investments to make for 2024. Now, before we get into that, I did want to say this week's giveaway is a LaMelo Ball Prism Silver PSA 9, around $100 card. If you guys would like to enter in to win for free, all you have to do is subscribe, like this video, follow me on Instagram at itskunalahuja, and comment the word done below once you've completed those 3 easy steps, and you will have a free chance at a $100 card. So once again, subscribe, like the video, follow me on Instagram, and you will be entered. But without further ado, we are going to hop right into the video. So the first kind of theme that I'm going to go over for 2022 or for 2024, is going to be Olympic players leading Olympic teams. Now, of course, we saw the World Cup generate a lot more attention than usual, mainly because the U.S. were not, far the greatest team in the World Cup and just totally dominating. It was more so an overall World Cup for the ages where there were many teams competing, and a lot of just competitive basketball, which we haven't seen in a while. And a lot of star players for the U.S. are deciding not to go to these events. Even the 2020 Olympics, or should I say the 2021 Olympics, were not as competitive as they were before. I think we're starting to get a lot more international competition, and I think guys like Franz Wagner, who are leading their team in the World Cup right now, who will have a chance to lead their team in, the Olympics next year, are going to see a lot of attention next season. We're already starting to see a bump in attention for Franz Wagner cards because, of course, his team has made it this far and they beat the U.S. So there's just a lot of attention over, players who are leading their teams in the World Cup. And I believe next year will be leading their teams in the Olympics. Of course, some big international stars that are in the NBA include Luka Doncic, and then of course Giannis, who might be leading Greece next season. So I think that's going to be very big for his overall card market, because keep in mind, with sports cards going more international, with Fanatics bringing more international folks in, a lot of people from these countries, for example, people from Greece starting to collect cards, these are going to be the cards they go towards, leading their own country. There's a lot of, nationalism there, where there's a lot of pride in your own country, and I think there's going to be a lot of attention around certain countries next year. So I definitely believe going after the most, the countries that have done well in the World Cup, made it far, kind of gearing up for the Olympics could be a good play, given sports cards are getting a little more international. But without further ado, I just overall think, I wanted to go over this real quick because I think the Giannis dip right now is a great buying opportunity. His cards, of course, since last year, they got eliminated early. They had a horrible season. You're starting to see a lot of Giannis cards come to levels where I think there's a lot of upside given the current prices. Even Giannis's base Prism, this card was $5,000 plus at one point. It has come down to around $800. And a lot of his colored Prisms that I'm going after are very low pop. 2013 was before they started printing a lot of cards. 2013 Prism is extremely low pop. You can get some of these cards like Pop 15 for under 3K. A Giannis Prism Blue, which I think is absolutely insanely undervalued. You saw that these really made a run, but I just think these overall, with the low pop, and if Giannis continues to be the face of the league, one of the faces of the league for years to come, I think his cards have a great runway. So that is a personal investment that I'm quite high on. But next up, I'm going to talk about an opportunity that I've been talking about on the channel for a little bit, and that is going to be the Spurs players who have been playing really well, but have got no attention because the Spurs have had no attention on them. I think with Victor Wembanyama on the Spurs, bringing a lot of eyeballs watching the Spurs, a lot of national television games for the Spurs. A lot of people are just going to get to know these names, such as Keldon Johnson. Of course, you got Devin Vassell, who's very good. This guy almost averaged 20 points a game last season. A very up-and-coming young, bright star, but you don't hear about him because he's on the Spurs. I think next season, with a lot of people watching the Spurs for Wembanyama, we're going to see a lot of people look at guys like Devin Vassell, and just overall a lot more attention for a lot of Spurs players. So the young Spurs players I'm very high on, just because if they continue their games up, I just think there's going to be 5 times the amount of attention on them because of Victor. So without further ado, we're going to hop right into the next kind of batch that I wanted to talk about, which is players who could be getting traded, who could be moving teams, possibly from smaller market teams to bigger market teams. We saw a lot of talks about Damian Lillard, and where he's going to go, potentially the Miami Heat, potentially another team. I think if he ends up on a championship caliber team, or if he ends up on a team that becomes a championship caliber team after they trade for him, we could see his cards really go up. His PSA 10 Prism Silver is a pop 39. So there's 39 of them out there, and I'm assuming a lot of them are in collections. So if you look at a player like this, if he gets traded to the Lakers or the Heat with a big fan base, there's going to be a lot more than 39 people trying to go after his cards, and that is going to cause his prices to go up. So I just think overall his cards are in a very good spot to see a good amount of increase, and not only him, I think guys like Pascal Siakam are a little bit more sleepers. His cards are extremely low, and if he ends up getting moved, there's some talks about the Warriors and a couple other teams. I just think if he gets moved, a pop 209 Prism Silver is not going to be $66. I think there's a lot of runway given how good of a second option Siakam was in Toronto, and if he ends up being a second option on a championship team or a championship caliber team or a team with a bigger fan base, you're going to see his cards really go up. They're just sitting so low right now, so I think there's a lot of upside. But I want to thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you guys enjoyed, make sure to like this video, subscribe, and follow me on Instagram if you would like to enter into the giveaway. Other than that, I hope y'all enjoyed, and I'm out. Peace.